back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to save money. Let's get started. So I've got about 7 tips for you, so let's start with numero uno. So first things first, set a goal for yourself. So when you first get your paycheck, make sure you set aside any desired amount that you choose aside before you spend it on anything. So make sure once you get it, it could even be $20, it could be $50, it could be $200, depending on your income and how much you can save in that moment. Make sure you take a little bit of that paycheck and put it aside. Just think like you don't even have it. It doesn't even exist. It could be any amount that you wish. So something I use for myself is once I get a paycheck, once I get paid, first thing I do is I save. Again, going back to tip number 1, you could save any desired amount. It could be anything, as long as you put something aside. So first thing I do is I save, then I pay off like my bills, anything that I have to pay off that's mandatory, and then whatever is left over, I spend on things that I like. So first things first, save, spend on bills, pay your bills, and then spend on yourself. Again, this one's a little tricky because it depends how much responsibilities you have in your life. If you have a lot of bills to pay or if your expenses are high, this may help you prioritize a little bit and see where you could cut your expenses in a way, okay? This takes me to tip number 3, which is set your priorities straight. So let's say you go somewhere and you go, let's say, to a mall, you see things you like, you buy it thinking, okay, it's okay, you know, I can spend here and there, just a little this much, little that much. But once you set your priorities straight, like saving, paying off your mandatory bills that you have to pay, and then you will have something left over. But if you don't, this is where the priority comes in. If you don't have anything left over at the end of it, it means you gotta cut certain things, you know, from your expenses. So let's say some people have cable in their home. Nobody watches cable anymore nowadays. We have internet, we've got laptops, we've got computers, everything's online. Like maybe cut on your cable. And so that way you don't have that expense to worry about. Or nowadays, everybody has cell phones. Do you have a home phone? Maybe you could cut your home phone. You don't need, you know, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things that you can cut that you don't necessarily use on a regular basis. Tip number 4 is being aware. So keep track of your finances, keep track on where you spend your money. Maybe you could do this once a month, write down, or maybe even once a month is maybe it's way too long. Maybe like once a week, like you set a date for yourself once a week, write down everything you spent that week and see where you spent too much and maybe you could cut on that. Okay, so being aware of your finances is so important because sometimes when we just spend, we're just like, oh, it's nothing, you know, you spend here, you spend there, you spend here, you spend there. You're like, I didn't spend that much, but when you look at it, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of money I did not know that I was spending. So do that. Tip number 5, don't eat out as often as you may do. So try to cook at home, try to eat home cooked meals. First of all, it's much healthier. And second of all, you're not spending that much money. Like sometimes people go to work, they buy lunch at work, or like they buy fast food. You know, this all adds up at the end of the day. So take a homemade lunch with you to work, eat at home. It's obviously okay to do it once in a while to treat yourself, but try to stay away from eating out a lot. Tip number 6 is start taking coffee from home. You know, coffee doesn't cost that much, you know, it depends where you go. Like in Canada, we have Tim Hortons, so like maybe like $1.50, maximum $2 on a coffee, or like at Starbucks, it's pretty expensive, so it's like $4 to $5 depending on what kind of coffee you get. So this all adds up, and I know some people that drink coffee like 2 to 3 times a day. That's a lot of little change here and there that you are giving to these coffee shops for your coffee. So you may think it's not that much, but again, if you're aware of how much you're spending, you can stop yourself. Tip number 7, which is my last tip. There's obviously a lot more that we could discuss here, but I try to shorten it a little bit. So the last tip is to make a grocery shopping list before you leave your house. write down everything you want and go to the grocery store and just buy only that. And make sure you go grocery shopping on a full stomach, because if you're hungry, you're gonna want this, you're gonna want that, you're gonna buy things you don't even need that are even probably unhealthy for you anyways, right? So just be aware, set goals, try to save as much as you can, and one day you'll be so happy that you have that little bit of set aside for yourself, because one day you never know what can happen in your life. You may need the money ASAP, right? So be mindful of where you spend your money and be mindful of saving. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below and make sure to check out my previous videos that I've done for you, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.